Of course it worked this way. I finished the news video Thursday afternoon, and then Valve updates the deck with a stable channel client that night. That's just the kind of peril you face when you cover deck news. Hey everybody, it's your friend and your guy and your favorite creator who keeps a dead cat right next to his face, Gardiner. No, seriously, that's what this is called. It's called a dead cat. Okay guys, this is yet another huge update for the Steam Deck. Let's talk about why you'll want to install this update right now if you haven't already. Now to start off, there are many features and fixes that provide a quality of life improvement. The first in the general class of updates is that the range sliders are now more precise, especially with large numbers. Furthermore, changing the value will accelerate if you hold the left or right buttons. They also fixed scrolling on the home page, made the What's New section more reliable, fixed an issue with loading the game carousel in the recommended tab, and fixed crashes related to screenshots, audio, Bluetooth, and when streaming from another deck. They also improved the responsiveness of the on-screen keyboard and made the keyboard run at 60 frames a second. They fixed a long-standing annoyance with the keyboard where some keystrokes would miss input, and resolved the problem where the virtual keyboard couldn't type into a chat tab sometimes. Then they updated the keyboard so that external controllers were more reliable when using it. Then they turned their focus to the media tab. Now, this is the place where you can view and manage your screenshots. They made this page more performant for folks who have a large number of screenshots, and they restyled the page to show more screenshots at once. They also made it so that you can scroll through your screenshots in full screen using the left and right buttons. This also means that when you back out of the full screen mode, you're properly focused on the image you last viewed. An excellent feature update, in my opinion. Now, I think they need to add video capture like the Xbox and PlayStation have. It's definitely possible for the deck, and it's something I'd love to see. Now, let me ask you a question. Are you enjoying videos like this? Do you believe in the work that I'm doing? Why not like that smash button and tickle that subscribe button to stay up to date with all the cool stuff that we're doing here on the channel? We're almost at 100,000 subscribers, and I know with your help, we can get there. And thanks. Now we get to the biggest changes to deck, and this is something I think is crucial for the long-term success of Steam Deck: Steam input. First, Valve added support for mode shifts in the new controller configurator. Mode shifting, if you're not aware, allows a button or combination of buttons to act more like a shift or control key on your keyboard. It gives you access to a whole host of other options at the press of a button. This is a big deal as Steam Deck is built to play PC games, and being able to set up multiple layers of controls that you can shift between is critical for making older titles lacking controller support accessible on deck. Next, Valve added a feature I've been waiting for with bated breath: a Steam button cord to turn off external controllers. This is huge. They also replaced the big picture mode controller configurator in desktop mode with the new one that they just built. But this is only for the Steam Deck. It's not yet available in the mainline Steam client yet. And they also improved touch menu performance. Now, speaking of touch menus, the biggest new feature in this update has to be the touch menus. Well, actually, the virtual menus as a whole, but we'll talk about that. Now, virtual menus, if you're not aware, are a menu system that can help map a touchpad or a thumbstick to commands in the game, or a D-pad actually. These menus are only displayed while touching or using the joystick or touchpad. Now, virtual menus have existed in Steam Input for a very long time. However, this new implementation has received a visual refresh. They also enabled configuring these with more fine control in the new Steam Input interface. They've enabled reordering, implementing icon and color modification to the new configurator, and they've made virtual menus be able to be stored as their own independent thing and then can be assigned to different buttons once they've been created. Now, there are 3 types of menus: the radial menu, the touch menu, and the hotbar menu. I find radial menus work best with the joystick and allow you to select any number of commands with the flick of a stick, but they can also be mapped to a trackpad or even the D-pads. Now, touch menus work great with touchpads, and they give you a list of commands that can be easily selected from. Finally, there are hotbars. Now, hotbars work like a menu that you can tab through. This can be assigned to a joystick, a trackpad, or even the D-pads. So let's configure a few menus and see if we can make a game more playable on deck. Now, in this example, I'm going to be using Command & Conquer 3, which is a game specifically designed with keyboard and mouse in mind. So how can we use each type of menu? Well, in CNC3, you can actually group an arbitrary selection of units as a control group, and then you can recall that selection by pressing the corresponding number key. So we can have this group of units saved as the 1 key, for example. And this also works with all the numbers, 1 through 0 on the keyboard. In this example, I have all 10 numbers mapped to a radial menu on the right stick. Then I have a mode shift mapped to R4 so that I can assign control groups. So by moving the joystick to select one number, I can recall the group, and by holding the R4 button and moving the stick, I can assign a group. As you can imagine, this can save a lot of time, especially when the select box that the game is designed around is not that easy to perform on the Steam Deck. Next, we have the touch menu, which we can assign the function keys F1 through F12 to a virtual menu. The function keys will start production of the items in the menu on the right side of the screen. This gives us control over which buildings and units we produce without having to move the mouse to the UI and then selecting them from there. Finally, for the hotbar, I want to have a few miscellaneous commands available. For example, I want to hit the H key really quickly to center the camera on my base. I also want to be able to activate cell repair and power modes. Let's create a hotbar that does just this. Now we can map any of those commands to the D-pad. Now obviously this isn't the most ideal use of a hotbar because we have 4 buttons on the D-pad and we have 4 buttons here, but the more commands you want to add to a hotbar, the more powerful it becomes. So every virtual menu entry can actually have an icon assigned to it, as well as mode shifting and subcommands available for each of them. This is such an in-depth and powerful configuration utility, and it gives you absolute control over your gaming experience. Though I do need to mention, from a design point of view, I have to nitpick, I'm not too keen on the icon selection here. Like, I understand what they're going for, but the varying line thickness, the complexity of each icon, the simplification versus realism, the haphazard mix of line art, solid shapes and duotone color palettes, even the skewed aspect ratio of some items, these icons are just all over the place, and in terms of design quality and utility, for example, we have 3 distinct styles of people. These ones are the ones you'd see on like a road sign, and then you have these stylistic ones, and then there are these that are like default profile pic icons. Plus, there are also some glaringly obvious omissions from the selection. For example, where's the $sign or localized equivalent? Why ABC and XYZ, but nothing in between? And look, I'm not saying that they all have to be like boring or stylistically the same, and I get that they serve a purpose for being instantly recognizable while playing a game, but it's just obnoxious to me the way they're all kind of mixed together and just in there. But that's just me being a designer by trade and being annoyed. Look, virtual menus are a boost for gaming on the Steam Deck. They open up a huge catalog of games that were simply unplayable using the Deck's control scheme. MMOs, MOBAs, Western RPGs, simulations, real-time strategies, and other PC-specific genres come to mind. I can't wait to come up with a new control scheme for SimCity 4 or City Skylines and have fun with that. I'm so excited about this new update, and I would love to know what you think. Leave me a comment and let me know. I would love to hear from you. I want to give a special shout out to my supporters over on Patreon and my YouTube members. It's because of these fine folks that I'm able to continue producing these videos, so thank you. If you believe in the work that I'm doing and you want to help this show grow, you can use the links below to become a Linux warrior, and thanks. I think that's going to do it for now though. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a blessed day, and I'll see you next time.